Good morning, Cell Block 776, here from the banks of the mighty Mississippi River in St. Gabriel, Louisiana. I want to talk about current events and what we can learn from them. Specifically, the massive explosion that happened about a week ago in a city in China. It's resulted in the death of over 100 people. About 1,000 more went to hospital with burn and glass-related injuries. We can learn a lot from this, use it as a teachable moment. Those people went to bed that night not knowing that later in the evening they would wake up to a fireball destroying their homes and causing them to panic and run for their lives. We need to look around at our surroundings, our neighborhoods, and see what are the hazards there. We can prepare for doomsday or the jade helm or whatever, but the reality is that you're more likely to be affected by mundane things like job loss, house fire, a good car wreck puts you in the hospital, and there are other environmental factors, floods, heat, ice storms kill people all the time. Down here in the Gulf South, we worry about hurricanes, but the last couple seasons it's been relatively quiet here in the Louisiana area. So what else is around us that we can look at as a potential hazard that we should be aware of and prepare for? Well, in my case, just that way, about a mile, is Willow Glen Power Plant. Willow Glen is one of these old fossil fuel burning power plants that they crank up. It was built back in the 60s. And it has big above ground fuel tanks and gets stuff piped off of barges and ships off the river all the time. That way, about 2 miles, is a large chemical plant. Also, large ships pull up all the time to offload and unload materials, and at any time they could have a release. Just that way, about 200 yards, is a rail line. There's railroads going, trains going by on that railroad all day long, back and forth, hauling all various types of chemicals, things that, if it derailed, they had a leak, would cause me to have to get out of my house in many cases. Sheltering in place probably would not be an option for some of these things. Also, what we see in China is the people that survived the explosions and got out of the area with their families are now being told it might be a while before you get to come back. A lot of the housing's completely destroyed. They're going to have to find new places to live. But those that left are being told, guess what? Chemical contamination. We're not letting anyone back for a while because we're going to have a massive cleanup going on here. So what happens if that train derails? What if that truck right down that highway flips over and the sheriff's office puts out an announcement? You got to go now. I've been there, done that. I've had a sheriff's deputy knocking on my door in the middle of the night saying, storm, you got to go in the middle of a hurricane. What he didn't know was the hurricane, I was well aware of it, and I was already packing and heading out the driveway when he showed up. So what are your plans for if you have to get out of your neighborhood? Do you have alternative evacuation routes mapped out? Do you know where you're going to go? Do you have like family or friends outside of your immediate region that would take you in, let you do a little couch surfing for a while? Do you have plans for calling your work and saying, hey, I'm not going to be available, or I had to leave, can we juggle my schedule around? In this case, does your go bag, your bug out bag, include work clothes? And a lot of people are like, what? No, I got my camouflage and my handguns and my face paint and all that, and my water filters are off. Yeah, every time I've had to evacuate for a storm or other event here, I've always taken my uniforms for work and showed up there, and my boss is like, okay, you made it. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm ready to work. And, I might as well make some overtime or, clock in if I'm going to, be away from home anyway. So, think about that. Maybe keep an extra pair of work clothes in your car, in your bug out bag, in the trunk. This is a good thing even if it's not a storm or a disaster or a train derailment or a chemical plant going up. You could be at work and God knows someone could spill coffee all over your clothes. You could get, your work clothes damaged. All right, tell the boss, give me a quick break. I'm going out to my car, run out to the parking garage and get your stuff. And it's raining. Good morning, South Louisiana. It's what we call South Louisiana sunshine. It's liquid form. Liquid sunshine. Look around at your surroundings. Look at the threats that are there. Whether it's chemical plants, warehouses right down the road. You don't know what they're storing there. These people in China sure didn't know what was being stored there. They probably wouldn't live so close. And take these into account when you're planning for how you're going to deal with emergencies. It's not just hurricanes. It's not just tornadoes. It's not just ice storms. It's not just zombies rising from the dead. And it's not the New World Order. Plan for all eventualities and include these things in there. Me, I'm going to get out of the rain. You have a great day. This is Cell Block 776 saying always keep training, keep learning, and keep watching. Bye-bye.